Hey guys, it's Brad again. I am doing another movie review. As you know, my last review was That's My Boy. Now, That's My Boy was a very tough one to get through. Kind of like with Jack and Jill. I didn't do a video review for Jack and Jill. Uh, I just did a written review on Rotten Tomatoes, which I'll probably do a written review for this next movie that I'm doing. But I want to do the video review first because I just want to see how it kind of goes about. So, anyway, I'm doing a video review on the Lindsay Lohan horror movie flop, I Know Who Killed Me. Now, I Know Who Killed Me was one of those movies I had never even heard of. Like, I had no idea it even existed. Which is probably a good thing, because it actually, I heard, was a really big box office bomb. I looked up on Box Office Mojo how much money it made domestically. I forget the numbers, but I think it was like no, I'm guessing on top of my head like 10, 15, something like that. And it had, I think, I'm not sure what the budget was actually. I don't even think the budget was even on the Mojo link. Uh, but yeah, and I also heard it was a big winner at the Razzies. It actually won 8 Razzie Awards. It won almost everything from Worst Picture, Worst Actress, going to Lindsay Lohan for herself, uh, Worst Director, Worst Screenplay. But I think, the only ones that it didn't win were Worst Actor, Worst Supporting Actor, and Worst Supporting Actress. All three of those went to Eddie Murphy for Norbit, which is a movie I will never watch, so please don't make me watch it. Okay, so how about I Know Who Killed Me? Well, I actually, there are times on YouTube, and it's weird because usually YouTube is pretty good at blocking movies and claiming copyright rights to another studio, whether it be Disney, Fox, Universal. But I looked it up, and it's actually on YouTube. And I didn't have to pay for it. It was just free. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna keep an open mind. I'm gonna try to keep a a clear vision on what this movie is. Now, I actually watched the trailer first, where I Know Who Killed Me. And here's the thing with it. When I watched the trailer, it seemed completely different from what the movie actually was. Now, the trailer made it look like a horror movie dealing with mistaken identity, um, or maybe just like a split personality, like, schizophrenia or bipolar or something like that. Like they were going that direction, sort of like a psychological sort of thing. I actually sat down and went on YouTube and watched the full movie from beginning to end of I Know Who Killed Me. I know who killed Lindsay Lohan's career. I really do. This movie is so dumb. Like it really. Okay, let's just start with the premise and the story. Lindsay Lohan plays Aubrey Fleming, who I. It's not really clarified. I guess she's in high school. I'm guessing she's a senior. I don't know. It kind of looks like college to me. But she's so basically she wants to be a writer. She quits being a pianist to become a writer. She wants to focus more on her writing, not necessarily her music. Uh, well, one night she's spending, time with her friends. She is trying to, but somehow in the middle of the night she gets kidnapped. There is a very atrocious scene that follows. I'll get to that in a minute. So basically, she is missing. She goes missing for 2 weeks, and then she comes back. She's alive. She lost her right hand and her right foot and ankle and pretty much her entire leg. And then when she awakens, she claims to be somebody else. She says, I am Dakota Moss. I have no idea who Aubrey is. I mean, yeah, I look like her, but that's not me. That's not who I am. Okay. So when you get down to the premise of mistaken identity, that's not what this movie is about. I'm gonna spoil this entire movie for you because There is no reason for you to see it. Basically, the premise at first is basically her living a completely different life and a completely different psyche and a different identity. And I thought, well, yeah, you would think this premise would be interesting, a psychological thriller mixed in with a little bit of horror. There is none of that in this movie. It gets very predictable very quickly. Like, I really thought, the first time they were hinting towards, a possible twin, uh, scenario, I really thought, don't go there, please, don't go there. And they did. And I think I now know the reason why the Razzies constantly make this joke of how I Know Who Killed Me is basically a horrible sequel to The Parent Trap, because she's playing twins again, but very horribly. Because really, the story itself is so far-fetched. It seems so ridiculously contrived. And also, I'm going to tell you right now, the acting in this movie is oh my god, I cringe even in the smallest roles. Or sorry, roles. Sorry, I can't really speak today. um, the even the smallest, like, there is this scene. I think there was another girl who was kidnapped and killed at the school, and the police come in to tell the teacher. Well, the teacher, she basically does this, I wish I could do it for you. I'm gonna try. And she goes, oh my god, like that, like she really just, oh my god, like that isn't, was that acting? Really? That is, yeah, she only has one freaking scene, not many lines, but she just, oh my god. Even, Lindsay Lohan, I think, isn't really trying, and that's what I get from this movie. Nobody cares about what they're doing. Nobody cares about the script. Nobody cares about the story. They just want to get through it to get their paycheck. And that's what I thought, especially with Lindsay. I mean, granted, Lindsay Lohan isn't the best actress in the world. I've seen, like, I'm a 90s kid, so I know, like, some of her movies, like, The Parent Trap was, like, her first one. But then, like, in the early 2000s, she started to get somewhat of a rising sort of star thing. Like, there was Freaky Friday, some movie called Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. That horrible movie, Herbie Fully Loaded. I have yet to know why that was even made. I don't think The Love Bug was even that great of a movie, but then again, I haven't seen it. Mean Girls was actually pretty good. That was actually surprising to me. I mean, she does pretty well in that movie. I mean, it's a little, it's not the best, but, whatever. But then this, going from Mean Girls to I Know Who Killed Me, a title that sounds very intriguing at first when you don't know its history, you don't know how bad it was at the box office, you don't know how much it was critically panned, you don't know how many Razzies that it got. To me, that title seemed a little interesting. But then when I read it won 8 Razzie Awards, I was thinking, well, maybe the writing is a little sloppy, or no, the writing is terrible. Um, the script, I think the screenwriters, whoever wrote the movie, had no idea what to do with this premise. Like I said, the premise and the concept of this movie does seem interesting at first, but it feels like the screenwriters pretty much had, it wasn't that it wasn't bad execution. There was no execution at all. It was just a premise and a concept just lying there with no way to make it interesting. They could have done so much with this movie. But then again, I don't think the actor's director, I think his name is Chris Severston or something like that, and the writers just seemed like they didn't care. They seriously didn't care about this movie. It really just seemed like kind of like in Jack and Jill. It seemed like a lot, with Katie Holmes, especially how she just wanted to get through this movie. That's what it felt like with every actor. Even the police, the people who played the FBI agents and the police officers and the detectives, look extremely bored. Like, you can tell, like, the police officers don't really do much in this movie. I mean, Yeah, they take up a lot of screen time, I think, sometimes, but then it's just pointless speeches and detective work that leads nowhere. These are the dumbest police officers ever. It really is the dumbest police officers ever made in creation. Um, Now, there is a Worst Supporting Actress Razzie, which of course went to Eddie Murphy for playing Rasputia in Norbit. But I totally think Julia Ormond or should have got it. And I think she's the one who plays Lindsay Lohan's mom. I could be completely off because I really didn't care. I stopped caring after about 20-25 minutes in. But the woman that plays Lindsay Lohan's mom in this movie, such a bad actress. Really, she is terrible. I mean, I think she's the only one, ironically, that's trying to make this role believable. Even when she's on the couch talking, having a heart-to-heart talk with her daughter, uh, she really is just so. It's not believable to say the least. I was like, oh God, why? Like, it made no sense. Now, I'm gonna get to the biggest issue that I've had with this entire movie because I'm gonna let it all out there right now. I am a big scary movie fan or horror movie fan. I love Halloween. I love the Scream series. I love even the first two Friday the 13th, even though that's kind of a guilty. Those are guilty pleasures for me. Um, I like the horror movie genre. I don't like the recent remakes that have been coming out. I mean, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake was okay and all that, but I'm getting off topic. This should not count as a horror movie. I Know Who Killed Me is not a horror movie. It's filled with pointless blood and gore, and excessive gore at that. I mean, we actually get to see the cutting off of the limbs. Now, granted, a little gore is fine, but when you go over the top like that, it like in Saw, this is like Saw territory here. You don't do that. That's why I never really liked Saw to begin with because it's too gory just to watch. You're not scared. You're just sick to your stomach, and I felt sick just watching this movie. Um, but okay, so between that part of the movie where she's first kidnapped and then to the climax of the movie, nothing horrifying happens. It's just Lindsay Lohan acting like a whore. There is no point to her acting, like Dakota Moss. I think that's her name, Dakota Moss. Um, and with this movie, there really is no point to it. There is, I would call it more erotic than horrifying. I think and also there's a lot of, there's that particular sex scene between her and the boyfriend, and wasn't that kind of pointless? They had really no chemistry whatsoever. It didn't matter if she was playing Aubrey or Dakota. They had no chemistry whatsoever. I actually thought maybe they could have been nominated as a pair. I mean, yeah, I get the whole twin thing. I think, that's well deserved. But the twin aspect of this movie is another big issue I have with it because really it's a cop out to me. It's not. It doesn't move the story. It doesn't make the story more interesting. It's a cop out. Again, a concept, and the writers and the director had no idea what to do with it. They really expected us to just buy in to this twist of a twin scenario. I think it's the actual term they use is stigmata twins, how they kind of feel their pain and whatever's happening to them, they feel it too, which can be interesting. But when you have a premise that you're advertising in the trailer and then giving us something completely half-assed and stupid, maybe you should rethink your thinking process. You really should. Was there anything I liked about this movie? No, not really. I mean, Lindsay, Lindsay Lohan as an actor, like I said, not the best actress in the world, but she just, I think she didn't even try in this movie. Like I said, she really didn't care like a lot of the cast members did. But I wish that she would, I don't know. I wish she could go back to the days when she was just when she didn't have to act like a slut to get attention, or didn't I think we know more of Lindsay Lohan as a tabloid person than an actress, which is kind of a bad thing. I mean, it hasn't really worked for anybody. It really hasn't. Um, is there anything else? The lighting in this movie was very distracting. The lighting in it, I mean, it's very dark. I mean, I get the point. It's a dark movie, but when you're trying to literally say it's dark by the visuals and the lighting, um, you just it reminded me of Mary Riley. That Julie Roberts movie where they try to show it as dark as possible. That's what it kind of reminded me of, is Mary Riley. What was it about? If there's anything else I could say bad about this movie, only that it deserves all 8 Razzie awards. It really does, especially Worst Picture. I mean, I think the other contenders. I haven't seen a lot of these. Like I've seen I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. I Know Who Killed Me, but I really have no interest in seeing. Even though I did see it on YouTube, Daddy Day Camp. I'm not really sure if I want to see that. I think it has like a 1% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, so I don't think I want to see that. I am definitely never ever ever going to see that Bratz movie. It looks stupid, as hell. But I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna wrap up this review because I think yeah we're already have like 16 and a half minutes in. Um, really, this was a huge waste of time for anybody. I don't see how it's recommendable on any level. Not even for camp value. There really is no point to this movie. Another Razzie that it won was Worst Excuse for a Horror Movie, which I completely agree on. It really isn't a horror movie. Yeah, there is some, torture porn aspects to earlier on in the picture, and then there's a little bit of a climax at the end, which the climax itself again was a cop out. I'm not gonna give away who the killer is, but again, it's a cop out. I'll give you one hint. It's one guy that had one scene in the entire movie and made no such impact on the story whatsoever. The whole twin aspect, cop out. The acting was terrible, the writing was terrible, the direction was sloppy. The visuals were too dark for me to really see sometimes. It really made no sense to me why this movie even exists. So that is my review of I Know Who Killed Me. If you have any other recommendations on what other movies I should review, please comment down below, or you can just email me on the Razzies forum. My display name is Movie Critic 1994, and please comment and tell me what you think of this movie video. Thank you. Bye.